What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into the Trick or Treat 1986 4K Blu-ray plus CD soundtrack release from Synapse Films and in association with Red Shirt Pictures. This was a very anticipated release for a lot of people, so much so that it is all sold out everywhere that it was selling at. I know Diabolic and Orbit DVD had it, of course, directly from the Synapse website. I know they had some issues with the Synapse website when it first came out, too, because so many people were trying to order it. It, crashed the site. But, yeah, only 6,666 copies of this. I think it was 2,000 whatever, per cover. I did get cover C. I will throw up here images for all the covers that were available. I do want to start by saying, guys, if you can grab this for retail or close to it, this is a must-own for any horror fan, any fan of rock, metal, anything like that. This movie is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved this movie. I had not seen this since VHS, and I didn't remember hardly anything about it. And just to let you guys know, too, Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne that are featured prominently on the DVD of this, they're not in it much, especially Ozzy. Gene, a little bit more, but they are not the main characters of this movie whatsoever. So if you're drawn to it because of them, don't get your hopes up for a lot of their screen time. All right, let's dive into the actual release itself, and then we'll talk a little bit about the film. Again, beautiful artwork on here. This, again, is cover C, and it was my favorite of the three, so I had to snag that one. I did get mine from Diabolic DVD. There is a list of the bonus features. Guys, you get commentaries on here. I think there's 3 different commentaries. You get a locations featurette with Sean Clark, which I always love the locations features on here. You get all kinds of interviews and everything, a making of, just a great list of bonus features on here, which I did watch all the bonus features. Very informative and just, packed with bonus material. And they're not just 2-minute, extras on here like some releases have, where it's oh, we got all kinds of interviews. Yeah, well, they're a minute long. It doesn't really do much. But these are pretty lengthy features on here. There's also a tribute to Tony Filmz on here, who, of course, plays Sammy Kerr in this film, and, passed away at a young age. And interesting thing is, he passed away at 36, and the main character in here, which we'll dive into the story, passes away at 38. Not to give anything away there, but yeah, I found it interesting that he actually passed away at a younger age than the character of this film. But let's finish taking a look at the packaging here. Here is a look at the back of the slipcase, and this is a nice, hard box slipcase. There's the side. This thing is just absolutely gorgeous, and I couldn't be happier with this purchase overall, guys. I mean, this thing is just amazing. And the picture quality on this 4K is absolutely flawless. I have no complaints at all on the picture quality. Now, the sound is either a 5.1 mix or a 2.0 mix, which, obviously I went with the 5.1, and it sounds great. It sounds really good. I wish I could have found a way to do an Atmos track or something like that, but, the 5.1 does still sound really good. Let's take a look at the case inside itself. You do have different artwork there, which I've already turned mine around, and you even have different artwork on the inside sleeve as well, whichever one you want to go for. I thought this one was just a little bit cooler. They are all, great. And there are your disc, your 4K there, your Blu-ray, and your CD soundtrack, which the soundtrack to this just rocks, guys. Every song on the soundtrack is just awesome. And very cool to include the soundtrack with this. Of course, the soundtrack was done by Fastway, a British rock band that I'm not really familiar with other than this soundtrack. I guess they were pretty big back then, and I don't really know who they are. They did disband shortly after this film was made, and the lead singer went on to try to do some solo stuff. It didn't really work out. But yeah, that is the case there. And then inside as well, you do have art cards, and these are actually double-sided art cards, which a lot of times they only have one side, and then the backs will be all the same on them. So you do have, your classic lobby card style, and then you have some poster art on the other side. And again, poster art on that side, and then like your lobby card screenshot stuff on that side. And I'm not going to keep saying that, but there's that side and the back. And then, of course, the alternate title to this is Ragman, which is our main character's name that he kind of goes by. There is the Ragman poster art there. And then this is some Chinese or I don't know, Chinese, Japanese, something like that, Korean poster art here. And then we get some other, what is this, like Italian maybe or something? I'm not sure. But yeah, very, very cool art cards on there. There's Ozzy right there himself. Yeah, Ozzy just plays a TV evangelist in this, which is very odd that, you know, somebody would play that role that's, you know, a rock metal god like Ozzy, you know, the Prince of Darkness himself playing this TV evangelist that's against rock music and metal music. And then you have a little Synapse catalog in here as well with some cool artwork on the front, just a catalog of some of their other films there, nothing major there. And then you get your double-sided poster here. Let's see. And then you got Sammy Kerr right over there. And of course on the flip side as well. I love this poster art. I may frame that and put that up somewhere if I can find a spot. I have no idea. A really cool poster there. I kind of wish one side said Trick or Treat on it, but that's all right. And then you have your booklet here. Lots of words in this booklet too. A lot of reading. It's not as heavy on the photos. I'm going to see if I can find any photos here. Some images there. But, you know, normally your booklets are a little heavier on the photo side. This one's got a lot of, you know, information about the film and everything. A really, really cool booklet there. So that is, you know, the meat and potatoes of this release, guys. It is worth every penny. Again, they are like double or more the price of this now if you check on eBay or something. If you can get one retail or close to it, definitely snag this release, guys. All right, so as far as the story, if you guys have not seen this movie, I'll try not to spoil everything, but there may be some spoilers in here. Just a warning there. I do like to hold, you know, something in my hand related to the movie here. I'll try to maybe throw up some images or something. But the story it's a pretty simple story. It's a revenge story of this kid who gets picked on in high school, and he comes across, handed to him by Gene Simmons, who's a radio DJ, gives him this album of Sammy Kerr's last album. Sammy Kerr had passed away in a fiery accident or whatever at a hotel, and this is his last remaining album that nobody has heard. So he hands it to him, and I guess he's also going to play it at midnight. I kind of lost how, if the kid has this album, how is he also playing this at midnight? Because I don't remember him giving back the album. maybe I missed something there. Let me know in the comments section. But anyways, he gives him this album because, you know, he's a huge fan. He's all mad that he passed away in this fire at this hotel. And he starts playing the album and ends up playing it backwards. And doing so, it pretty much brings Sammy Kerr back to life. Now, he can only come back to life through like the airways, electricity, stuff like that. So kind of think like Shocker, all right, in that aspect. He travels through the sound waves and everything. So he pretty much helps him at first. He's helping get revenge on these guys at his school. And, you know, they're all picking on him, giving him shit. And he finally has his way with them. But things start to take a different direction and start getting a little bit out of control. And Sammy Kerr is trying to really do harm to a lot of people. And he is trying to stop it along with the help of some other people. His best friend especially, who plays kind of like the nerdy geek character in here. And yeah, that's all I'm really going to say about the story. It is a revenge story about getting bullied, stuff like that. Now, this movie also plays into the aspect of this is 1986. This is a time where a lot of people, politicians, things like that. Tipper Gore, for one, was the big advocate for, like, trying to stop, and metal music, rock music, saying that it has subliminal messages, demonic stuff going on, things like that when you play it backwards. And it's just preposterous, really. I mean, it never really happened like they say that it did. I mean, people were not putting subliminal messages in music, as far as I know, anyways. Um, but that is also something that this movie kind of focuses on a little bit, like kind of backlash to that stuff that was going on in the 80s there. And a couple things too is a couple people that worked on this film also worked on A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And they did draw most of their inspiration for this film based around A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, Freddy comes in through our dream world, Sammy Kerr comes in through our music, our airways, things like that. But they did draw a lot of their inspiration from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Also, with A Nightmare on Elm Street, specifically Part 2, you had Kevin Yeager, who did the makeup effects on Freddy in Nightmare 2, also did the makeup effects on Sammy Kerr, which is another burn victim. So the effects on him are great. The special effects throughout this film are actually really solid. They hold up really well. Some of the lightning effects are a little bit dated, but what are you going to do about that? I mean, again, think back to like Shocker and how that looks kind of the same. I don't know if Wes Craven drew any inspiration from that movie from this. I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if a little bit wasn't. And another thing about this is they originally wanted AC/DC to do the soundtrack because they were working with people, that were involved with the same companies and things like that on Maximum Overdrive. And they really wanted AC/DC to do the soundtrack for this. Unfortunately, AC/DC couldn't do it, but I think Fastway did a really great job with the soundtrack. Again, the soundtrack is just banging, it's rocking. I have no complaints with the soundtrack whatsoever. All the songs do kind of sound the same, but they are pretty catchy and fast-paced, and they fit this film very, very well. Along with that, the guy who plays Sammy Kerr, played by Tony Filmz, was actually not really much of an actor. He was in a chorus line, but as far as actual films, he wasn't really in too many. He was in some music videos like Michael Jackson's Thriller and Beat It, but he was more of a trained dancer than he was an actor. But I think he did a great job in here. Again, he passed away at a very early age from an AIDS-related cancer at only 36 years old, which is just sad because God, he did so good in this movie, and this was really out of his realm. He wasn't into like the horror stuff. Honestly, a lot of people that worked on this movie weren't really into horror, including the director himself, Charles Martin Smith, who was more of just an actor. He had a lot of acting roles. He directed maybe some like TV commercials, things like that. But this was his first feature film. And he does not come from a horror background or even like a rock metal background. And for this being his first feature film, holy crap. He did a great, great job on this. Again, the effects hold up really well. And the acting in this movie is very solid. Not a lot of the actors went on to do much else after this. His buddy in here, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was from Family Ties, I do believe. But other than that, none of these people in here, I mean, you got Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, but aside from them guys, nobody really went on to have that big of careers. But yeah, for a first time, feature film director, this is just fantastic. The acting, again, I think is solid, very, very solid. I actually was invested in the characters in here. The acting's not over the top, I don't think, besides Sammy Kerr's, but he's supposed to be this larger than life, over the top, demon metal god that comes back. But all the acting I thought was pretty damn solid. I thought everybody did a great job. You're invested with them. You feel for them. They feel just real. They feel organic, I guess. I have no issues with the acting in this. The music, the cinematography. There's a few scenes. There's some great use of shadows and stuff like that. The way the lights shine through. This was filmed in Dino De Laurentiis. Is that how you say it? Soundstage for a lot of stuff, including like a lot of the bedroom scenes and stuff like that. A lot of them were on site. We do get that location tour with Sean Clark there. But for the ones that were filmed in the studio, they did a really good job with the lighting and everything, making it look like, an organic environment. But yeah, guys, Trick or Treat 1986. If you've not seen this movie, do yourselves a favor and see this movie. I'm not sure if this is streaming anywhere. If it's not, I'm sure there's a way to watch it. But this release, again, this thing is top notch, worth every single cent. If you can find this for retail or close to it, definitely do so. There's probably 20, 30 listings on eBay for double or more of the retail price. If you want to pay that, that's your choice. I don't know if it's going to come down from that. I don't know how many scalpers grabbed this and how fast it's going to go at those prices. Maybe they'll start dropping that. I don't know. But this is just a great release. Definitely my favorite release from Synapse Films. And red shirt pictures there on the side. Let me know if you guys grabbed this, which cover you got, what you think of the movie, and I would have loved to see a sequel to this. They do talk about that in some of the features, how so many movies out there don't deserve a sequel or a reboot that get them, and fans have been asking for a sequel or something to this forever, and we just haven't gotten one. Is it too late? Do you think it's too late to do a... I wouldn't do a remake. I would do like a reboot like they did with Candyman or something, but don't remake it necessarily. You know, let's pick up where it left off in like a new timeline or something. Yeah, guys, Trick or Treat 1986, 4K Blu-ray CD soundtrack from Synapse Films, 100% must own. I cannot recommend this enough. This is my most recommended release of 2024, guys, for physical media. All right, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment down below if you feel like it, I guess. And peace, love, happiness to all you guys. Later.